All right, so good morning, my Hatters. All right, so today, oh shit, hold on. That wasn't supposed to happen. Okay, yeah, so today I'm gonna get a panel started. Hold on, and I don't know why. See, and I don't know why this keeps doing this. The video keeps getting listed as private. Again, this is something that I have to actually work on in the settings. So, okay, hopefully that fixed it. Okay, that should do it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it always does that. Okay. So this morning I intended to do a panel. So it's gonna be multiple folks coming in, and we're gonna discuss some of the things about the NFL season. And for the people watching on Twitch, I apologize in advance because I do not know how to. I do not know how to. Actually, I think I can add people to the panel from here, but I don't have a big Twitch following, so I don't. I'm not too. I'm not going to be too worried about that. Not to say that that's a bad thing. It's just not in the not going to be the biggest thing on my radar. So I'm also going to be probably in and out because I'm doing my dad thing, and I'm doing it solo. Speaking of, it is now awake. Okay, so I was actually pretty occupied with trying to get all the people who were supposed to be here, and kind of got mixed up trying to get all of that stuff uh in the mix. So I have to run through this little by little. Actually, while I'm playing around. Oh, seeing I got an issue with Facebook. I guess somebody's trying to hack me, but because of reasons, that hack has not been successful, but I do keep getting logged off for some reason. Okay. So, so I already have a couple of topics that I want to get into today, and I hope everybody. I hope no. I don't have anybody here to tell me that they can't hear me right now. Uh, to the two people who are watching, if y'all can hit the like button, that would be much appreciated. But hold on, I gotta get all of these people in here. Uh, shoot. All right, so now I really just I gotta do a whole thing and everything. Okay, let's see it. And I was just talking about my kid waking up, and here she is woke and all over the place. So, oh, what do you mean you don't see the like button? The like button is like the easiest thing to find. Wills, come on, stop playing with me now. Okay, so like I said, I was gonna get into talking about football and stuff like that. Get it and if y'all can bear with me while I get everybody that's supposed to be here on, because what I'm gonna do is when enough people show up, I'm gonna put the link in the chat so that we can get started. I know a lot of people got their own lives and stuff like that. So, obviously not everybody that's supposed to be here will make it here, but I'm gonna do my best to get everybody on. And there's gonna be some since it's your Hero Wilkes, there's gonna be some things that I'm gonna do, drop some incentives so that at the end of the season there'll be like a cool prize or something like that. So that'll be something that I also work on. We're gonna talk about predictions. We're gonna talk about the preseason, what's going on as far as the upcoming season is concerned. Some unexplored topics, as it were. I don't know a better way to describe that, but we're gonna get into a few things, right? But okay, yeah, that's cool. I'm just glad you at least showed up. All right, and let's see, and this thing then finally made it up here. She most of the part she got up here was by herself, but say hi, Gumball. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, Gumball. Okay, we're still working on that. But yeah, I'll pretty much just be doing this. I'll pretty much be doing this panel with her because she is up and everybody else ain't here yet. Okay, so shoot. And see, and I forgot, hey, stop it. And I forgot everybody that I was supposed to add to this too. So it's gonna be it's gonna be some missing names and stuff like that, and people who probably just flat out won't show up. But that's cool though that we're getting somewhere started. The whole idea was is to get the day one portion started, and that's actually what I wanted to do. Is I at least wanted to get the kinks out before the NFL season actually started. So when the season does start, we get to we actually get to where we're supposed to be as far as how this is supposed to play out, when we do these live streams for the season. And the game plan is simple. So what I'm gonna do is I'll have a weekly wrap up on Tuesdays. I will have a Thursday night football wrap up on Friday, and the week and the rest of the week preview on. I'll have the rest of the and the remainder of the week preview on Fridays, and then we'll do it. So it'll be Tuesdays and Fridays. That's when I'll do the NFL previews and wrap ups and stuff like that. Today we're just getting all started. Okay, so Ronald Brown, God, it's like I'm talking to myself. What's gonna happen is when I get everybody in, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat because it's gonna be multiple people. It's something I'm gonna be trying out. Also, Gumball, say hi, Grandpa. Say hi, Grandpa. Say hi, Grandpa. Yeah, say hi, Grandpa. Grandpa watching. Say hi to Grandpa. Be nice, child. Okay, I don't know what that is. Is that what is that? What's going on? But just so we're clear, I don't know what this is about. Okay, so here's what I will do while I wait for everybody to come in. I will just drop the link in the chat, and then we'll go from there. I'll just have to repeat myself a couple of times, and that's cool. But okay, so here, let me just do this because I have to have it in here anyway, so that oh shit. Okay, all right. I might have goofed that one. Sorry. Okay, I definitely goofed that one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so all right. Yeah, so yes, I will be mildly distracted because she was supposed to go with her mom this weekend, but her mom had some stuff to do with work. So we didn't want to cause any distractions over there. So we're just gonna we just gonna dad this one out. Ain't that right, Gumball? We're gonna dad this one out. What do you mean we shouldn't be doing that? There's nothing wrong with doing a panel. It's not like I'm breaking any laws or anything. Come on, cut me some slack here. Oh my God, this is the most critical baby ever. And sometimes I think she does it on purpose, but you know what? Whatever, worth it. Okay, so she's doing the Coco Melon thing again, which I'm okay with. I actually think it's adorable. All right, so the link for the Zoom is right there in the chat for everybody who wants to be involved. And like I said, we'll just work on that as, we'll work on it as we go along. We build it while we fly it, right? Okay, so hold on. Yeah. Okay, and and I'll try to expand it to other people. Like I said, as the season goes along, there'll be more people going joining in. But the whole idea is to Jesus, stop trying to get into everything. Okay, yeah, but as the season goes along, we're hopefully more people will join in, and there will be more to go on. Because I'm like I said, we're one at a time in this thing, and that's the game plan to it all. We're just doing this one at a time, and what is it? I know you are not about to go back to sleep on me. You just gonna go back to sleep on me? That's what we doing. That's what's hot in the street now. Got your foot on my desk and everything. You just doing all this on purpose. All right, so I just sent out this invite to a bunch of people. So some of these people had already wanted to get on, so hopefully they will be making themselves present. I know some people got me on that list. It's just like, no, we're not doing that. Okay, so all right, we'll work with this, right? We'll work with this. And okay, see. All right, so because I would have thought that this would have been actually done in by the time I was trying to have all this stuff set up before the intro song was done playing. Okay, so we're gonna have one person coming in, and like I said, we're gonna do this one at a time, right? Or excuse me, I'm just gonna have to find myself repeating myself. So hopefully we get this. We build a while fly. We get this going, right? So okay, Gumball, get your feet off the desk. Coach Brown, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay. All right. We're gonna have hey, if you can do me a favor and mute because we're getting that echo and everybody's getting that echo. Well, everybody get this going, right? So okay. All right. No, Pops, you gotta echo, you gotta mute YouTube.
Hit the microphone.
Brown, how you doing?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because we're getting that feedback, and hey, if you do me a favor, and everybody is getting that, and I'm getting it on the delay. Okay. All right. So here's what we're gonna start off with this topic here. I'm sure you can shed some light on this one yourself. No, don't mute yourself. You're supposed to mute YouTube. If you have it playing in the background or have it playing somewhere else, you don't mute yourself. Okay, girl, stop. Okay, stop. Okay. You play too much. All right, so the first thing I wanted to bring up and I know this is like a few weeks old, but we'll get started and get your input on this one. And it was do you believe that Sean Payton broke
Have it playing in the background or have it playing somewhere else? You don't mute yourself. Okay. Girl, stop. Okay, stop.
Yeah, so you still have
The first thing I want to
have YouTube play actually
I know this is like a few weeks old.
are you using YouTube on your phone?
I'm using my,
This one, and it was
I'm using
do you believe that Sean breaks
YouTube on
Sean
my
Payton's,
computer.
Okay, mute it on your computer.
You don't mute yourself.
mute the computer or
Yes, the computer.
Yeah, so you still have, the first thing I want to ask,
Okay, that's better. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to bring up was do you think that Sean Payton broke coaching code by going off on Nathaniel Hackett? Floor is yours, coach. Coach, you. Can you hear me? Coach, can you hear me? Okay, but for some, okay, so. All right, so now we gotta build you while we fly it. All right, so because you can hear me, but I can't hear you for some reason. So I only said mute YouTube. I didn't say mute the Zoom, but for some reason I can't hear you. That's weird. Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. Hold on. Yeah, so all right, so unmute yourself again, because it's like once you muted YouTube, I couldn't hear you anymore. Okay, so unmute on Zoom, and then let's try this again, and let's not suck this time. Okay. Okay, I still can't hear you. Okay. Okay, all right, hold on. Okay, so for some reason, when you muted YouTube, you just went mute all. I can't hear you all together. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that worked. Okay. Shit. Yeah, I still can't hear you. Okay. All right, maybe you just went mute all. I can't hear you all together. I don't know how this works. I don't know how that worked. Yeah, see, I can't hear you, and I can't hear you on YouTube either. Okay. Okay, you might have to unmute YouTube then, because otherwise I can't hear you. I don't know how that's gonna be interesting. Okay, Baby Boast 24/7. What's going on? If you want to talk about some of the stuff on the panel, then by all means feel free to join. The link is right above your comment. And just in case you don't see it, because
all right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, so the first question that I wanted to bring up was do you believe that Sean Payton broke coaching code by going off on Nathaniel Hackett, who is currently the offensive coordinator for the New York Jets?
I don't know the situation. Maybe if you spell it out a little more. I wasn't watching the game, I guess.
Okay, so a few weeks ago, Sean Payton talked about how last year's Denver Broncos was a shit show, and that there was things that was problematic with Nathaniel Hackett, and it got a lot of backlash. So I'm hold on, let me find the article here. Okay, so because it was actually a pretty hot topic for a few days. Crap, I am a terrible typist. Okay. Okay, so in an interview, let me see. Hold on. Here we go. So in the interview, let me see. He says here, hold on. Okay, yeah, no, this is a backlash one. Okay, yeah. So so a few weeks ago, he had criticism for Sean Payton. He said, listen, I had one of those moments where I still had my Fox hat on and not my coaching hat on, Payton explained to reporters during his Friday news conference. Okay. Okay, hold on. Shit, there was I am.
So let me get this straight. Let me see if I can sort this out. So as a analyst, he was being interviewed by one of his colleagues, and he made a comment about a coach that's actively on the Denver Broncos coaching staff.
Well, no, he was referring to last year's Denver Broncos, where Nathaniel Hackett was actually the head coach. And he was saying how the offense was bad, the coaching was bad, the whole atmosphere surrounding the Denver Broncos, the offense was bad, and he took shots at Nathaniel Hackett, who at the time was the Denver Broncos head coach.
Now, is Sean Payton making these comments as a news analyst, or
he was making these comments as a coach because he became the Denver Broncos coach a few months ago?
Okay, so well, although you don't like to bash other coaches, because there's a level of professionalism, Sean is allowed to make assessments of his predecessor. I mean, he's within his rights, especially if he took over a shit show.
Okay.
Whether it's ethically right or wrong, well, that's everybody's opinion. But he's being interviewed. He asked a question, and he thought he gave the answer that he thought was honest. He thought it was the head coach's fault because the head coach does have a lot to do with the development of the culture, because the head coach is not just a teacher, he's the manager. And in any business, the manager is responsible for the culture. So, I mean, I don't know the roster. I don't know what the Denver Broncos looked like last year or anything like that. But, I have heard of teams. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys back in the 80s had, even though they were, or back in the 90s, even though they were championship level team, from what you hear from the players and coaches, the culture was horrible.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So with that in mind, do you believe that Denver Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson could have done a better job?
Didn't watch a game last year. The one the games that I watched the year before last, I think he could have done a better job. But then people tend to do the things to quarterbacks is that they do to presidents. And I'm making this comparison to make this point. You know, the president is not the guy making all the decisions. He's
Right.
just in charge. The guys making all the decisions are Congress, us,
Yeah.
the Supreme Court. You know, it's everybody but the president. President just has the right to say no.
Okay.
Okay. The quarterback is not the whole team. Okay. You and I have been on teams where we saw that you had a decent quarterback or even a good quarterback, and he couldn't get the ball off because of the offensive line, or the running back wasn't good enough to draw attention away from him by being a great runner, or the wide receivers weren't threats. You know, I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm saying that football is a team sport. You can't just put it on the quarterback. There's a lot of factors
Right.
that go into him being good or not. I mean, he can be Mahomes. If Mahomes is on the Cleveland Browns, okay, or some team that can't block, and he's got no correct receivers or running backs, he's not going to be as good a Mahomes as he is now. He's going to
Okay.
be good, but he's not going to be as good.
Okay. Switching gears, right? Because this was something that was talked about in various circles at my job. It was something that I had been hearing about in certain groups on Facebook, and it was the Baltimore Ravens bounce back. Now, looking through the scope here. Hold on, let me pull up this damn app because I'm a little all over the place with it, so bear with me. So last year, the Baltimore Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, hold on, did they make the playoff? I'm over here trying to look this up right now. Okay. All right, so yeah, last year the Baltimore Ravens, they were 10-7 and they made the playoffs, but it was at an abysmal pace, and more so over Lamar Jackson did not have one of his expected years this year due to the injuries that he was facing. Do you think that the Baltimore Ravens can do better this year?
I certainly believe that they have the potential to be a top-ranked team.
Okay.
Are they the Baltimore Ravens of old? Definitely not. But it's just a matter of putting the pieces together, as I explained about Mahomes and teams and the way they're built. And it's also about coaching. Coaches plan different ways, and what it is that the first thing that they assess is what kind of team do they have.
Right.
When I go to teams, I look at the first few weeks of practice, first few months of practice, and I go, okay, this is a defensive team. Okay, because of the pieces that we have. The team that we were on last year, I basically wanted it to be a defensive team because we didn't have top level league known type players in certain positions. And so I was expecting our defense to hold teams to under 10 points.
Okay.
Okay. And then work the offense from there and try to score more than 10 points every game.
Right.
And coaches do that. It changes the way that they coach for that year depending on what pieces they have. And the Baltimore Ravens have to figure out what do they have besides Lamar Jackson,
Okay.
and to build what they want. Do they want an offensive team? Do they want a defensive team? Do they want a balanced team? And then build in the draft and free agency from that.
Okay. All right. So let's do some preseason predictions. Right now, who do you have right now in the preseason? Who do you have for NFL MVP?
Well, that's a hard question for me because I haven't watched the preseason game this year. I've been preoccupied with other things.
Okay.
Always in the hunt, of course, is Mahomes.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson, probably if he can get off those injuries and get back up to his peak performance, and if the Ravens can put together some kind of philosophy to help their team get over
Right.
Josh Allen, if they can put it together again, that's another team where they just haven't really solidified what they're trying to do.
Right.
Are they gonna build the team around Josh Allen and then have a high-powered offense, or are they gonna get some defensive players and put that together? They just haven't figured that out yet. And yeah, I'm kind of slighting towards quarterbacks. I'm a quarterback.
Okay.
And again, I haven't watched any preseason games. I like that kid, John Jefferson. If they can get something going over there.
You mean for the Vikings?
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson. And the kid at Cincinnati, both the quarterback and the wide receiver.
Okay. So any one set or just or is just at the moment up in the air?
Anyone what? I missed that.
So do you have like any set person, or is it right now it's just up in the air?
It's just up in the air. If I have to pick one right now, it still would be Mahomes. I mean, this guy is phenomenal. He is on the next level.
Okay. What do you think about as far as division? Well, let's just have the preseason Super Bowl winner thus far, based on have you followed the off season at all?
No, I've been really preoccupied with personal stuff, trying to get things straightened out for next year. I got a good year coming up next year, so
All right.
I'm trying to figure that out. But if I had to make some predictions, I can see those three young quarterbacks in the AFC making a splash. Hate to say it, but Lamar Jackson's not one of them.
Okay.
Mahomes, Allen, and
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow can get up into that next level and make a run, depending on what the coaching and the teams do during the off season.
Okay. Do you believe that running quarterbacks have a ceiling?
No, I think running quarterbacks can break the ceiling. I was a running quarterback. Actually, I was a pocket passer that can run. And it's just a matter of your mentality and your training. Again, I was a pocket passer that could run, but I would have been considered a running quarterback if the coach had decided to go that way.
Okay.
He decided he wanted a pocket passer that could run. So a lot of these teams have a quarterback and they turn them into a running quarterback by running option and stuff like that.
Which if I'm not mistaken, was not a thing in the 70s.
Right. So it's a matter of how they're being used and allowed to have the mentality that I'm going to run.
Okay.
And some of them don't really have, and some, not all, because your question is there a ceiling?
Yeah.
Some don't have the ability to be a pocket quarterback that can run. Some of them are running quarterbacks. I mean, there were times where I saw some greatness out of Michael Vick when he was a pocket passer,
Yeah.
but I think it fit better for him to be a running quarterback.
All right. All right. So here's one I'm sure that's near and dear to you. And I will get to and again I'm gonna repeat most of these questions as people come in. But last year the Cowboys went 12-5. They made the playoffs. Let me see here. I'm just looking at the games. They were a wild card team that eliminated the Buccaneers. However, they were eliminated by the 49ers. That old 49er Cowboy rivalry was starting to show itself.
Mhm.
So I have to ask you, I have to see where you stand on this. Do you believe that the Cowboys will implode this year? And do you think Ezekiel Elliott's departure could be a reason behind it? And what are your thoughts on if the Cowboys do implode?
Okay, so it's a possibility. And this is a long-winded answer because I'm a Cowboy fan, but first off, no one player impacts whether or not a team is just going to be destroyed. It may
Right.
impact whether they win or lose, but not whether they just fall to pieces. That's coaching.
Yeah.
And that's front office. Again, we go back to culture. So I don't think his departure is going to make them destroy themselves and have people asking for trades and not playing hard and holding out and all this other stuff. I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't see the Cowboys doing better than they're doing. And I know I said earlier that the quarterback's not at all in all the fault. It's everything else, which I still hold to true because they still haven't got that defense where they could get it, and that's Jerry Jones's fault. That's the general manager not getting in elite players. They got two great corners, but the stuff surrounding them is mediocre.
All right.
And that's what keeps the Cowboys from going to the next level. Defense always wins championships.
Yeah.
When it comes to the quarterback position, and I've said it since the beginning, it's not that I don't like the kid. He has some flashes of greatness, but Dak Prescott is not going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I put out two names that he reminds me of so much in his mentality, and that's Danny White and Tony Romo.
Okay. So why Tony Romo? Look,
Both of them, all three of them have the same problem. They are solid, good quarterbacks. I can even put them in the bottom rung of top ranked quarterbacks on the bottom of the list of the top 20 quarterbacks. Okay. The problem is when it gets to crunch time, they lose all of their focus and fundamentals. Okay. I've actually seen Dak Prescott throw balls into the ground and not trying to intentionally ground them not intentionally throwing them away, actually trying to hit the target and throw the ball in the ground because he gets excited. Tony Romo gets excited. Danny White got excited. And when they did that, they lost everything.
Okay. Don't play with that.
Okay? They don't keep their composure and keep thinking on, okay, I'm using my fundamentals to throw this ball on target. Okay. It's, oh God, he opened and I'm in the playoffs.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay. So yeah, that's the problem with those three quarterbacks. And they're not the only three. It's just the ones that I've watched and as a coach evaluated what the problem was,
Right. Okay, so here's an interesting one. One that one that was brought to my attention uh, while I was working one of my jobs, and that was, do you believe that there is a rivalry between Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow? And I mean a personal rivalry. Do you believe there's a personal rivalry between Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow?
Well, I don't know those two men, and I haven't seen any indication that they don't like each other. I'm sure they're high level competitors, and both of them are aware that the other one is breathing down their neck for MVP,
Right.
and that they have the potential of meeting each other in the AFC Championship every year. So if there's some kind of rivalry, it's definitely a professional one, but I don't know them personally to know if they have a personal rivalry.
Okay. All right. So here's an interesting topic that just came about. And I thought it was kind of weird because I didn't know that this happened. But the Jimmy Graham returned to the Saints apparently. And he was actually arrested recently. Now, do you think that this is that NFL players going to jail? And we have at least 5 arrests every year. Do you think that these are issues that need to be targeted more often as far as what Roger Goodell does as commissioner is concerned?
I mean, what are you going to do? It's obvious that suspending or kicking people out of the league is not a deterrent. So you're gonna have to find, and finding maybe finding isn't heavy enough. I don't know. He's got to find some kind of deterrent because you got to understand that the issue is you're giving millions of dollars to a 21-year-old kid. And a lot of times those kids are coming out of environments where they ain't seen money like that. Okay. Yeah. And you and me both know, I'm not saying this because it's not true. I'm saying it because it is. And I can say it because I'm Black. They listening to this glorified rap music where, they push having material things as equating to you being great.
Right.
And then you got these 21-year-old kids with a whole lot of stuff and a lot of money. And a lot of them haven't been taught, their agents don't help them, their parents haven't helped them. A lot of these kids, not all, haven't taught them how to be humble, take care of their money, be responsible. And then a lot of them don't know how to stay out of the hood. They get their money and they want to flash in the hood and go hang with the boys and all this other stuff. Hey, who was it that said that? One of these NFL players, I can't remember which one, said in an interview, I'm not going back to the hood. Why am I going back to the hood? That's where the trouble is at. Why would I go back and be involved? I can be involved with my homies, but why am I in the old neighborhood?
Right.
And a lot of these people go back to the old neighborhood where the trouble was, where they were in trouble, and get back in trouble again.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Okay, so who do you think should have been in the Hall of Fame this year, and who do you think got snubbed? Or excuse me, who do you think would you replace for them to be in the Hall of Fame?
I didn't actually find out or look at the Hall of Fame thing. Again, I was really preoccupied. I haven't watched any football yet. But here, give me a second.
All right.
Take a look.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I gotta get the door. Someone's at the door. Okay. All right, I'm back.
Okay, so uh so who's in the Hall of Fame this year?
Okay, hold on. Let me go through. See, because I didn't take all my notes like I was supposed to. I only got scripts and scraps of it of everything that I was supposed to do. Okay. All right. So this year's Hall of Fame class, you have Rondé Barber, Don Coryell, Chuck Howley, Joe Clico, Dale Revis, Ken Riley, Joe Thomas, Zach Thomas, and DeMarcus Ware.
Okay, so automatically, I would probably take out Rondé Barber. I like Rondé Barber, but his induction is a little early.
Okay, so who do you put in this place? Because there were a lot of good finalists here too. They had Jared Allen, Willie Anderson, Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Albert Lewis, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson.
Torrey Holt.
Okay, so why Torrey Holt over Rondé Barber?
Torrey was a magnificent wide receiver as an old man.
What do you mean as an old man? He did most of his work in his 20s.
No, when he won the Super Bowl, when he was out there with Kurt Warner and them, he was old.
He was not.
He was old.
Hold on, let me make sure. Let me make sure we got the facts straight here. I'm about to pull this up right now. Because
while you do that, I'll actually tell the real truth. Torrey Holt was a classy guy on and off the field.
Okay.
And he did, like I said, he did some great work over there, and he always kept it football, and he was always a good target.
Okay.
Rondé Barber, I love him. He did some great defensive work, but he was on the defense that was great, and he was just part of it.
Okay. But I mean, think about it. If you think about it, Torrey Holt, he was a part of a lot of great offenses. You talk about your Kurt Warners, Mark Bolgers, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk, Steven Jackson. You got all these offenses that you're a part of, and you got to remember, Marshall Faulk wasn't just any old running back; he was getting catches too.
Yeah, but you got to remember this: Torrey Holt was on that team before all that greatness occurred.
No, he wasn't. He was a rookie in 1999.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
that was the greatness right there.
Well, yeah, he was a rookie in 99, but Rondé Barber was in a fantastic defense. Okay. He had monsters surrounding him. Can't be nothing but great.
Right.
And he wasn't the key player on that defense. You know what I mean? He wasn't the guy you talk about all the time.
Okay, but why wouldn't a cornerback be the center of, or not say the center, but, and so you know what, I'm gonna stop myself right there. So because one thing I do understand is that there were names on that defense, and a few of them are already Hall of Famers. You talk about Warren Sapp, you got Derek Brooks, John Lynch, Simeon Rice. You had names there, right? Okay.
Names that you call every day.
Names you call every day.
Say those names.
Okay, but there were still upper level talent on that team that we didn't talk about. We talk about Shelton Quarles. You're talking about Dexter Jackson. I forgot the other guy opposite of Simeon Rice on that defensive line. But Rondé Barber was a guy that you talk about, and he wasn't just a talk because who his brother was.
Yes, he was.
No, he was. Come on.
Yes, he was. That's exactly why. They kept
That-
focus on him because they were keeping focus on Tiki.
Yeah, but you got to understand something. He had already gotten to that. If you already hit the mark, okay, we get it. Tiki Barber was in a Super Bowl before Rondé Barber was in the Super Bowl. But you got to understand the difference here, right?
I mean, but look, even if they weren't in the Super Bowl, this is my point. Because there were brothers on different teams, the media was always going to focus on them. This guy's on this team and that guy's on that team. Let's watch them both and see what happens.
Okay. So, because, I mean, you look at Rondé Barber's stats, right? It's not like he was just getting flamed out there. People avoided, he had the season in 2001 where he led the league in interceptions, and it was just like, okay, well, we just not gonna mess with this guy. And very few offenses decided to mess with this guy. I mean, it was clear, it was clear that they knew what they were doing when they were trying to avoid him.
I'm not saying that he's not a great corner, and I'm not saying that because I rooted for him when they were playing as well. I don't like Tiki. I like Rondé.
Okay.
I'm saying that his class induction was early.
Okay. So when would you have had him in? Because
Maybe a year or two from now, because there are a couple of players and coaches I'd like to see in there first.
Okay, yeah, because like I said, you wanted to have Corey Holt in over Rondé Barber. One of the things that I was really really in awe about when it came to Rondé Barber is he's one of the few guys who played as many years as he did, and then also play all of those years with the exact same team. And he's been retired for 10. This is his 10th season. This has been the 10th season since Rondé's been out of the league. So, I mean, 5 years, 5 years past eligibility, I would think this would be a good time to have him in.
Again, I say that I think he's a Hall of Famer and he should be in the Hall of Fame. It's just out of those names that you put on the list, I think some of them should have been there first.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a big time Dallas Cowboy fan, and I wanted to see number 88 in the Hall of Fame. Okay.
Wait, which 88?
Drew Pearson.
Okay. Wait, he's not in the Hall of Fame?
He is now.
Okay.
I wanted to see him in the Hall of Fame. He deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. And he should have been in earlier. Should have been in years ago. But when you look at some of the players that he got in before last year, you go, I think they just put him in because everybody made a big fuss out of it. He should have been in earlier, but there's some players that should have been in last year that should have been in before him. But but that's only because he's in too late.
Yeah, that is a good point because there are a lot of guys when you look at a lot of the semifinalists that are in that anybody can make a case for that should be in the Hall of Fame. And the names that I had listed were modern era finalists because there were some 129 nominees for this which and I gave out 15, excuse me, I gave 15 modern eras finalists, and then there were actually 28, and even some of these would have you like, wait, how did they not get in? Because here's some of the 28, some of that 28 that I had missed here, And they had guys like Ricky Waters, they had Hines Ward, they had, hold on, let me see here, London Fletcher, Jari Evans, and Eric Allen.
Now I would have put everybody on that list in the Hall of Fame.
Everybody.
Everybody.
But yeah, I mean, they were only going to put in so many. And
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, everybody on that list should be in the Hall of Fame.
yeah, definitely. Because we were, like I was talking to some guys. At work, and they were saying, and when I had thought of this question, they had asked me first, and they were saying, who would you take out and who would you put in? So where I got the idea from, and people lost their shit when I told them this. But I said I would have taken out Chuck Howley and put in Patrick Willis.
Yep. Well, yeah, it depends on era again.
Well, obviously Chuck Howley was in a different era playing in the 70s, whereas Patrick Willis, he played in the 2010s, or excuse me, the mid to late 2000s, early 10s. And people will always bring back the whole Patrick Willis retired super early and all of that stuff. But I just but have you seen his play? Okay. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal. Now, yeah, my bias is due to era. I will admit to having a bias, but when you put it into perspective, right? A lot of the OGs will have a better chance to make an analysis on it because they have seen Chuck Howley play. I did not see Chuck Howley play. I've not seen clips. I have not seen any kind of highlights or anything. Well, I can say, okay, I can make a case for somebody, say like Everson Walls, who I've never seen play because I've seen clips, I've seen highlights, I've seen those type of things. So I would make a case for somebody like, say, Everson Walls, but I couldn't make that case for somebody who I've never even seen clips or highlights of.
Well, again, it's a case of not just era of play, but that's the foundation of it. It's a case again that Chuck should have been in the Hall of Fame earlier. Now you're competing against people whose gameplay and stats are, like you said, are readily available, and that are playing in an era where they can perform better because the game is different.
Okay, that's understandable.
And the players are different too. Everybody wants to say, well, this NFL is soft now and this and that and other. It is, that's true. But these players are super athletic now as well. I mean, you didn't have linemen running 4.5s in the 70s. Yeah. Okay. That was unheard of. These was elephants.
And then you have a guy come out of nowhere in the 90s. I'm sure you've heard the name Larry Allen.
Yeah.
Who runs down a linebacker in a full sprint.
Okay. You didn't have guys with that kind of freakish ability in the 70s. You didn't have quarterbacks like Michael Vick and Mahomes and I mean, you just didn't have athletes that were athletic like that. Okay. I mean, you had athletic athletes, but the difference of athleticism has, skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So the game is different, it's faster, it's much more athletic. It's just, so even though you can make the case that the NFL is soft, it is. Okay. It is. You got to also factor in that these athletes are super athletic. So,
Do you think those rules should have changed? Do you think those rules should have changed after, say, things that happened like with the Jack Tatum situation, or with the issue when who was it? I want to say it was either Joe Montana or Terry Bradshaw. They got suplexed at the end of a play.
Well, some of these rule changes are needed, like things like getting suplexed and slammed on the ground and all that stuff. picked up and body slammed and all that kind of stuff is, not football. That's wrestling.
Right.
But I'll say it this way: the extent of the rules is too much.
Okay.
Okay, and I have a bias because I played quarterback in an era where there was no roughing the passer.
Fair enough.
Okay, so yeah, I don't want to get destroyed every play, but I also know it's football. Okay, and it makes the game not so fun to watch because there's no anticipation that if that guy don't watch out, he's gonna get clocked. Because the defender is just gonna see and know the rules and pull up.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay, so one more question, because I do have to tend to this baby because it's running around here. So one more question. If you could change a rule back, from what it was originally, what would it be?
that's a tough one because there's a lot of them. I wouldn't change the rule. I would make, again, the extent to where to how much is how much of it is actually roughing the passer or anything like that. How much of the protection of the players there is. Okay, yes, protect the players, but not to the extent that the game is watered down. You've watched clips on YouTube, but we've all watched the clips where they show the greatest hits. And don't tell me you didn't get excited.
Oh yeah, of course I did. I was
Okay.
watching greatest hits not too long ago.
Okay, everybody. That's what football is about. Everybody is looking for them greatest hits, and if you can take it or not, if you got your head on the switch, that makes the game fun to watch. Okay, no, don't go out there and kill them and try to hurt them and stuff like. Don't give them the Jack Tatum on every play,
Of course.
but throw something in there, and don't make it illegal because players are now. And I know why they're doing it. My point again is because the players these days are super athletic. Okay. They're stronger, they're faster, they're going to get there with a harder impact. And it could actually end up injuring people more often. So yeah, there should be a rule. It just shouldn't be for every ticky-tack little thing.
Okay. Last question, because this is something that since you had brought up, I had to ask. What is your favorite type of highlight?
Oh, see, that's a hard question because as an offensive player, I like to see the long touchdown pass, especially the old days. But again, it's them monster hits. It's those monster hits. I love those greatest hits because I'm the first one to be sitting there going, "Ooh."
All right. So I'm gonna put the live stream on hold for a little bit while I go and tend to the baby since she is all over the place right now. Want to thank you, Coach, for chiming in. And hopefully we actually get more people when I load this back up later. So again, thank you again for coming in, and thank you everybody for dropping a like button and being proactive in the chat when you were. So I'll try this again later. And remember, like I always say, kindness is free and I'm cheap as fuck. So have a good day, everybody. I'll see you in a bit.
Thanks for having me.
All right.